Have you ever looked at yourself in the mirror and felt disappointed? Have you ever thought, I am not good enough? Or wondered why you cannot be as confident, successful, or happy as other people? Maybe you have been very hard on yourself for a long time. Maybe you smile in front of others, but deep inside, you feel tired, lonely, or lost. If these thoughts sound familiar, I want you to know that you are not alone. Many people feel this way at different times in their lives, and if you have ever experienced these feelings, this episode is especially for you. Welcome, my dear friends, and thank you so much for joining me today. I am truly happy that you are here. Whether you are listening while walking, relaxing at home, traveling to work, or practicing your English, I hope this conversation becomes a peaceful moment in your day. Today, we are going to talk about something that is deeply personal and very important. We are going to talk about your relationship with yourself. Let me ask you a few simple questions. When was the last time you said something kind to yourself? When was the last time you felt proud of who you are, even if your life was not perfect? Do you often compare yourself with other people and feel that everyone else is doing better than you? Have you become so busy trying to meet other people's expectations that you have forgotten what you truly need? And perhaps the biggest question of all is this: do you sometimes feel like you have lost yourself? Life can change us in many ways. We face failures, make mistakes, hear criticism, and carry disappointments that slowly become part of our daily thinking. Without even noticing, we stop believing in ourselves. We become our own biggest critic. We focus on everything we think is wrong with us, and we forget to notice the good that is already inside us. Little by little, the love and kindness we once had for ourselves begin to disappear. But today is not about becoming someone else. This is not another episode telling you to be perfect, richer, smarter, or more successful. Instead, today is about something much more meaningful. It is about finding yourself again. It is about remembering the person you were before fear, doubt, and endless comparison made you question your worth. It is about learning how to treat yourself with the same kindness, patience, and understanding that you so easily give to the people you love. Here is something I hope you will remember throughout this episode. Sometimes, the person who needs your love the most is not a family member, not a close friend, and not someone far away. Sometimes, the person who needs your love the most is you. And there is nothing selfish about that. In fact, learning to care for yourself is one of the healthiest and most beautiful things you can do. So, if you are ready to stop being your own enemy and start becoming your own friend, stay with me until the end. Together, we will explore simple ideas and practical steps that can help you rebuild your confidence, treat yourself with more kindness, and slowly fall in love with yourself again. Let's begin this journey together. What does it really mean to love yourself? Before we learn how to fall in love with ourselves again, we need to understand what self-love really means. Many people misunderstand this idea. When they hear the words "love yourself," they imagine someone who thinks they are perfect, never makes mistakes, or believes they are better than everyone else. Because of these misunderstandings, some people even feel guilty when they try to take better care of themselves. But real self-love is very different from these ideas. Many people believe that they will finally love themselves when they become more beautiful, earn more money, get a better job, lose weight, or achieve great success. They think, When I become successful, then I will be happy with myself. Others believe they must always feel confident and never feel afraid or insecure. But the truth is that no one is perfect. Every person has strengths and weaknesses. Every person has good days and difficult days. If you wait until your life is perfect before you love yourself, you may spend your whole life waiting. Real self-love does not begin when everything in your life is perfect. It begins when you choose to accept yourself as a human being who is still learning and growing. Accepting yourself does not mean that you stop improving. It simply means that you stop hating yourself while you are improving. You can have dreams, work hard, and try to become a better person. But at the same time, you can still respect yourself exactly as you are today. Self-love also means taking good care of yourself. It means giving your body enough rest, eating healthy food when you can, and making time for things that help your mind feel calm and strong. It means speaking to yourself with kindness instead of using words that hurt you. It also means forgiving yourself for the mistakes you made in the past. We all make wrong decisions. We all fail sometimes. But one mistake should never become the reason to believe that you have no value. Every new day gives you another chance to learn, grow, and become wiser. Another important part of self-love is believing that you deserve happiness. Many people secretly feel that they are not good enough to enjoy life. They think they must first prove their worth before they deserve peace or joy. But your value does not come from your achievements. You do not earn the right to be treated with kindness, especially by yourself. You already deserve love, respect, and happiness simply because you are a human being. Now, let's talk about something that often confuses people. Many people think that self-love and selfishness are the same thing, but they are completely different. A selfish person only thinks about themselves and ignores the needs of others. They take without caring how their actions affect people around them. Self-love is the opposite. It means respecting yourself while also respecting others. It means understanding that your feelings matter, but other people's feelings matter too. Self-love is healthy because it creates balance, while selfishness breaks relationships. In fact, when you truly love yourself, you become a better person for the people around you. When you respect yourself, you are more likely to respect others. When you are kind to yourself, it becomes easier to be patient and kind with your family, your friends, and even strangers. When your heart is filled with peace instead of constant self-criticism, you have more energy to encourage, support, and care for the people you love. That is why self-love is not only a gift to yourself, it is also a gift to everyone whose life you touch. So, before we go any further, I want you to remember one simple truth. Self-love is not about becoming perfect. It is about treating yourself with the same kindness, respect, patience, and understanding that you would gladly give to someone you deeply love. And that is where the journey of healing truly begins. In the next section, we can naturally move into why do we stop loving ourselves, explaining how criticism, comparison, past mistakes, people-pleasing, and negative self-talk slowly damage our relationship with ourselves. Why do we stop loving ourselves? Now that we understand what self-love really means, an important question comes to mind. If loving ourselves is so natural and healthy, then why do so many people struggle with it? Why do we become our own biggest critics? The truth is that most people are not born hating themselves. Somewhere along the way, life teaches them to doubt their own value. This usually happens slowly, through many small experiences that shape the way they think and feel. For many people, the journey begins in childhood. Some children grow up hearing more criticism than encouragement. They are often told that they are not smart enough, not careful enough, or not good enough. Sometimes they are compared with their brothers, sisters, classmates, or neighbors. Even if these words were not meant to hurt them, hearing them again and again can leave a deep mark. As they grow older, they begin to believe these messages. They stop seeing their strengths and only notice their weaknesses. Without realizing it, they carry the feeling of, "I am not good enough," into adult life. Another common reason is constant comparison. Today, it is easier than ever to compare ourselves with other people. We open social media and see smiling faces, beautiful pictures, expensive vacations, successful careers, and perfect-looking lives. We compare ourselves with friends, family members, celebrities, and people who seem to have everything. But we often forget that we are comparing our real life with someone else's best moments. We cannot see their struggles, fears, or failures. The more we compare ourselves, the more we feel that we are falling behind, even when we are making progress in our own lives. Past mistakes can also make us stop loving ourselves. Every person has done something they wish they could change. Maybe you made a bad decision, hurt someone, missed an opportunity, or failed at something that was important to you. Instead of learning from those experiences, many people carry guilt and shame for years. They keep telling themselves, "I don't deserve happiness," or "I will never be good enough because of what I did." But your past is only one chapter of your story. It does not decide your entire future unless you allow it to. Another reason is the way we speak to ourselves every day. Every person has an inner voice, and that voice can either help us or hurt us. Imagine waking up every morning and hearing thoughts like, "I am useless," "I always fail," or "I can't do anything right." If you repeat these words every day, your mind slowly starts believing them. Just like kind words can build confidence, negative words can destroy it. The more you speak badly about yourself, the harder it becomes to see your true value. Your thoughts shape your feelings, and your feelings influence your actions. Many people also stop loving themselves because they spend all their energy trying to please everyone else. They find it difficult to say no. They always agree, even when they are tired. They put other people's needs before their own and ignore their own feelings. At first, they hope this will make everyone happy, but after a while, they begin to feel exhausted and empty. They give so much to others that they forget to care for themselves. Slowly, they lose touch with who they really are and what they truly need. If any of these reasons sound familiar, I want you to remember something important. None of these experiences mean that something is wrong with you. They do not mean you are weak, broken, or unworthy of love. They simply mean that life has covered your true value with fear, doubt, criticism, and disappointment. Deep inside, your worth has never disappeared. You have not lost your value. You have only forgotten how valuable you already are. And the beautiful thing is that what has been forgotten can also be remembered. The signs that you have lost love for yourself. Now that we have talked about some of the reasons why people stop loving themselves, let's look at something even more personal. How do you know if you have lost love for yourself? Sometimes the signs are not big or obvious. They appear in small thoughts, daily habits, and quiet moments. You may not even notice them because they have become part of your normal life. As you listen to this part of the podcast, I encourage you to be honest with yourself. This is not about judging yourself. It is simply about understanding yourself a little better. One of the biggest signs is that you compare yourself with other people almost every day. You look at someone else's success, appearance, job, relationship, or lifestyle, and you immediately feel that your own life is not good enough. Instead of feeling inspired, you feel disappointed. You forget that every person has a different journey, and you begin to believe that everyone's doing better than you. Over time, comparison steals your joy and makes it difficult to appreciate your own progress. Another sign is that you never celebrate your achievements, even the small ones. No matter what you accomplish, you quickly move on to the next goal. If someone praises you, you may think, "It wasn't a big deal," or "Anyone could have done it." Instead of feeling proud, you focus on what you still have not achieved. This habit makes success feel empty because nothing ever seems good enough. You may also notice that your mind pays much more attention to your mistakes than to your strengths. One small failure can stay in your thoughts for days, while your successes are forgotten in a few minutes. You remember every time you made a mistake, but you rarely remember the times you were brave, kind, or successful. When this happens, you begin to see yourself through a negative lens, even though there are many good things about you. Another common sign is believing that other people are always better than you. You admire everyone else, but you struggle to see your own value. You think others are smarter, more attractive, more confident, or more talented. You forget that they also have fears, problems, and moments of self-doubt. No one's life is perfect, even if it looks that way from the outside. Sometimes, losing love for yourself also affects the way you care for your body and mind. You may ignore your health, skip meals, sleep too little, or work without taking breaks. You feel guilty when you rest because you believe you should always be doing more. But rest is not a sign of laziness. It is something every human being needs. Taking care of yourself is not a reward that you earn. It is a responsibility that you deserve. You may also find it difficult to believe compliments. When someone says, "You did a great job," or "You look nice today," your first reaction is to disagree. You think they are just being polite, or that they do not really mean it. This happens because your own opinion of yourself has become stronger than the kind words of other people. People who have lost love for themselves are often very hard on themselves. They expect perfection, criticize every mistake, and blame themselves for things that are not even their fault. They say, "I'm sorry," all the time, even when they have done nothing wrong. Deep inside, they feel that they are a burden or that they are never enough. No matter how much they achieve, they continue to chase a feeling of worth that always seems out of reach. If you recognized yourself in some of these signs, please do not feel discouraged. Many people experience these feelings at different times in their lives. You are not strange, you are not weak, and you are certainly not alone. Recognizing these signs is not something to fear. It is the first step toward healing. Once you become aware of them, you can slowly begin to replace these painful habits with kinder thoughts, healthier choices, and a stronger relationship with yourself. The truth about your inner voice. Now let's talk about something that has more power than most people realize. It is something you carry with you every single day, wherever you go. You cannot see it, but it affects the way you feel, the choices you make, and the way you see yourself. I am talking about your inner voice. Every person has an inner voice. It is the quiet conversation that happens inside your mind from the moment you wake up until the moment you go to sleep. Sometimes this voice encourages us, but sometimes it becomes our biggest enemy. Think about it for a moment. What does your inner voice usually say to you? Does it encourage you when things are difficult? Or does it criticize you every time you make a mistake? For many people, the inner voice is much harsher than it should be. It says things like, "You will fail." "You are not smart enough." "No one likes you." "You always make mistakes." "You will never become successful." When we hear these thoughts again and again, they begin to feel like facts, even though they are only thoughts. The mind has a powerful habit of believing the words it hears most often, especially when those words come from ourselves. The problem is that we usually do not question these thoughts. We simply accept them. If your inner voice keeps repeating negative messages every day, your confidence slowly becomes weaker. You stop trying new things because you already expect to fail. You stop believing in your abilities because your own mind keeps telling you that you are not good enough. Over time, these thoughts become a habit, and that habit shapes the way you live your life. Now, I want to ask you something very important. Imagine that your best friend comes to you after making a mistake. They feel sad, disappointed, and unsure of themselves. Would you look at them and say, "You are useless. You always fail. No one will ever believe in you"? Of course not. You would probably comfort them. You would remind them that everyone makes mistakes, that they can learn from the experience, and that tomorrow is another chance to try again. You would choose words that give them hope instead of taking it away. So here is the question. If you would never speak that way to someone you love, why do you speak that way to yourself? Why do you become so cruel to the person who needs your kindness the most? The truth is that you deserve the same patience, understanding, and encouragement that you so freely give to other people. Being kind to yourself is not a weakness. It is one of the strongest habits you can build. This does not mean you should pretend that everything is perfect or tell yourself things you do not believe. Real self-love is not fake positivity. It is not standing in front of a mirror and saying, "I am perfect," when you know you still have struggles. Instead, it is about being gently honest with yourself. It is about replacing hurtful thoughts with truthful and encouraging ones. You do not have to lie to yourself. You simply need to speak to yourself with more kindness. For example, instead of saying, "I am terrible at this," try saying, "I am still learning, and every day I am improving." Instead of saying, "I always fail," remind yourself, "Sometimes I fail, but every failure teaches me something valuable." Instead of thinking, "I can't do anything right," tell yourself, "I may not know everything today, but I can keep practicing and getting better." These small changes may seem simple, but they have a powerful effect over time. Every kind thought is like planting a small seed. If you keep watering that seed with patience and encouragement, it will slowly grow into confidence, hope, and self-respect. Remember, changing your inner voice will not happen overnight. If you have spent years speaking negatively to yourself, it will take time to build a kinder way of thinking. Be patient with yourself during this process. Every time you choose a gentle and honest thought instead of a harsh one, you are taking another small step toward loving yourself again. And those small steps, repeated day after day, can completely change the way you see yourself and the way you live your life. Stop comparing your life to everyone else. One of the biggest reasons people lose confidence and stop loving themselves is comparison. It is something that almost all of us do, without even realizing it. We look at someone else's life and think they are happier, smarter, richer, or more successful than we are. We compare our appearance, our job, our education, our relationships, and even our daily lives. The more we compare, the more we feel that we are not enough. But the truth is, comparison is one of the fastest ways to steal your happiness. The problem with comparison is that it is never fair. Every person has a different story. We all come from different families. Some people grow up with love and support, while others face many difficulties from a young age. We all receive different opportunities. Some people have chances that others never get. We also carry different problems that the world cannot see. A person who looks successful may be fighting a private battle that nobody knows about. We all have different dreams, different goals, and different paths in life. Most importantly, we all have different timing. Some people succeed early in life, while others find their purpose much later. Life is not a race where everyone starts at the same place or finishes at the same time. When you compare your life with someone else's, you forget your own journey. Instead of noticing how far you have come, you only notice how far someone else has gone. This makes you feel discouraged, even when you are making real progress. Imagine climbing a mountain. If you keep looking at people who are higher than you, you may forget to appreciate how much you have already climbed. Every step forward matters, even if it is small. So, instead of comparing yourself with other people, try comparing yourself with the person you were yesterday. Ask yourself simple questions. Have I learned something new today? Am I a little kinder than I was before? Did I make one better choice today? Did I practice a good habit, even for a few minutes? These small improvements may seem unimportant, but they slowly build a stronger, happier, and more confident person. Real growth is not about becoming better than someone else. It is about becoming a better version of yourself. Another important step in falling in love with yourself again is learning to forgive yourself. This is not always easy, but it is necessary. Every person has made mistakes. Every person has failed at something. Every person has said or done things they wish they could change. Regret is a normal part of being human. It reminds us that we are learning and growing. However, carrying guilt for the rest of your life will not change the past. It only makes the present more painful. Many people keep punishing themselves for something that happened years ago. They replay old memories again and again, thinking they do not deserve peace or happiness. But ask yourself this question. If you have learned from your mistake and become a wiser person because of it, what good comes from continuing to punish yourself? Growth cannot happen if you refuse to let yourself move forward. Forgiving yourself does not mean pretending that nothing happened. It does not mean forgetting your mistakes or refusing to take responsibility for them. Real forgiveness means accepting what happened, learning the lesson it taught you, and giving yourself permission to begin again. Your mistakes can become your teachers instead of your prison. They can help you become more understanding, more careful, and more compassionate. Always remember this simple truth. You are more than your worst mistake. One bad decision does not define your entire life. One failure does not decide your future. Your value is greater than your past, and your story is still being written. Every new day is another opportunity to grow, to make better choices, and to become the person you truly want to be. So let go of comparison. Forgive yourself with a sincere heart, and keep moving forward, one small step at a time. Learn to forgive yourself. There is one more step on the journey of loving yourself again, and for many people, it is the hardest step of all. That step is learning to forgive yourself. We often find it easier to forgive other people than to forgive ourselves. We can understand that others make mistakes because they are human. But when we make a mistake, we expect ourselves to be perfect. We keep thinking about what we should have done differently, and we carry those painful memories with us for years. But if we never forgive ourselves, it becomes very difficult to move forward and enjoy life. The truth is that every human being makes mistakes. There is no person in this world who has lived a perfect life. Everyone has failed at something. Everyone has made a wrong decision. Everyone has said words they wish they could take back, or missed an opportunity they wish they had accepted. Mistakes are not proof that you are a bad person. They are proof that you are human. In fact, many of life's greatest lessons come from the moments when things do not go as planned. Many people carry guilt and regret for a very long time. They keep replaying the same memories in their minds and asking themselves, "Why did I do that?" Or, "What if I had made a different choice?" These questions can stay in your heart for months or even years. Slowly, guilt becomes a heavy burden. It steals your peace, your confidence, and your happiness. Instead of enjoying the present, you remain trapped in the past. But no matter how many times you replay an old memory, you cannot change what has already happened. The past cannot be rewritten, but your future can still be shaped by the choices you make today. This is why forgiveness is so important. Forgiving yourself does not mean pretending that your mistake never happened. It does not mean avoiding responsibility or refusing to learn from your actions. Real forgiveness means accepting the truth, learning the lesson, and then allowing yourself to continue growing. It means saying, "Yes, I made a mistake, but I will not let that mistake define the rest of my life." Your past can teach you something valuable without becoming the place where you stay forever. Think about how you would treat someone you truly love. If they made a mistake and sincerely wanted to become a better person, you would probably encourage them to learn from it and move forward. You would remind them that one bad decision does not erase all the good inside them. You would not want them to spend the rest of their life feeling ashamed. So why not offer yourself that same kindness? You deserve the same understanding and compassion that you so willingly give to other people. It is also important to remember that growth is only possible when you give yourself permission to begin again. Every mistake can become a lesson. Every failure can make you wiser. Every difficult experience can help you become stronger, more patient, and more understanding. The people who grow the most are not the ones who never fail. They are the ones who learn from their failures and keep moving forward with courage. So today, I want you to let go of one small piece of guilt that you have been carrying. You do not have to release it all at once. Healing is a slow process, and that is perfectly okay. Just take one small step. Be patient with yourself. Be kind to yourself. Remember that you are still learning, and every new day gives you another opportunity to become a better version of yourself. Before we move on, I want you to remember one simple sentence because it can change the way you see yourself. You are more than your worst mistake. One failure cannot define your entire life. One regret cannot erase your value. Your mistakes are only a few pages in your story, not the whole book. Your story is still being written, and the next chapter can be brighter than the last if you choose to forgive yourself and keep moving forward. Start treating yourself like someone you love. Now that we have talked about accepting yourself, changing your inner voice, letting go of comparison, and forgiving your past, it is time to do something practical. Self-love is not only a feeling. It is something you show through your daily actions. Many people keep waiting to feel confident before they start taking care of themselves. But in reality, the opposite is often true. When you begin treating yourself with kindness every day, your feelings slowly begin to change. Love grows through the way you care for yourself, one small habit at a time. Think about someone you truly love. It could be a family member, a close friend, or someone who means a lot to you. You want them to be healthy, happy, and safe. You remind them to rest when they are tired. You encourage them to eat well and take care of themselves. Now ask yourself an important question. Why not offer that same care to yourself? You are just as deserving of kindness as the people you love. One of the simplest ways to show yourself love is by taking care of your body. Try to get enough sleep every night because your body and mind need time to recover. Drink enough water during the day, even when you are busy. Choose healthy food whenever you can, because good nutrition gives you energy and helps you feel better. These habits may sound small, but they send a powerful message to your mind. I matter, and my health is important. Another beautiful habit is taking a short walk every day. You do not have to walk for hours. Even 10 or 15 minutes outside can help you relax, clear your mind, and feel refreshed. You can also spend a little time reading books that teach you something new or inspire you. Every page you read is an investment in yourself. Learning is one of the greatest gifts you can give your future. The way you speak to yourself also matters. Make a conscious effort to replace harsh words with kinder ones. Instead of criticizing yourself every time something goes wrong, remind yourself that learning takes time. Speak to yourself as you would speak to someone you deeply care about. Kind words may seem simple, but they have the power to heal a tired heart. Even small daily habits, like wearing clean clothes and taking care of your appearance, can make a difference. This is not about trying to impress other people. It is about showing yourself respect. When you care for your body and your appearance, you remind yourself that you are valuable and worthy of attention. Another powerful habit is keeping the promises you make to yourself. If you decide to practice English for 15 minutes, do your best to keep that promise. If you plan to exercise, read a chapter of a book, or wake up a little earlier. Try to follow through. Every time you keep a small promise, you build trust in yourself. You begin to believe that your words have value, and your confidence grows little by little. Do not forget to celebrate your small victories. Many people wait for a big success before they feel proud. But real progress is built from small steps. If you completed a task, learned a new word, finished a workout, or simply had a better day than yesterday, take a moment to appreciate it. Every small achievement is proof that you are moving forward. It is also important to rest without feeling guilty. Rest is not wasting time. It is part of living a healthy and balanced life. When you allow yourself to relax, smile more often, and enjoy simple moments like watching the sunrise, drinking a warm cup of tea, listening to music, or talking with someone you love, you remind yourself that life is not only about working harder, it is also about living with peace and gratitude. Always remember that self-respect is not built in one day. It grows through small actions that you repeat again and again. Every healthy meal, every glass of water, every kind word, every promise you keep, every moment of rest, and every small victory is another way of saying to yourself, I matter. These simple actions may not seem life-changing at first, but over time they build something beautiful. A stronger, healthier, and more loving relationship with yourself. Build confidence through small promises. Many people believe that confidence is something you either have or you do not have. They think confident people are simply born that way. They wait for the day when they will suddenly wake up feeling brave, strong, and ready to face every challenge. But real confidence does not work like that. Confidence is not something that appears overnight, and it is not a special gift given to only a few people. It is something that is built slowly through your daily actions. Every small promise you keep to yourself becomes another brick in the foundation of your confidence. Think about trust for a moment. If someone keeps their promises to you again and again, you begin to trust them. You believe their words because their actions match what they say. But if they keep breaking their promises, your trust becomes weaker. The same thing happens in your relationship with yourself. Every time you make a promise and keep it, you send a powerful message to your mind. I can trust myself. Over time, this creates real confidence because you know that you can depend on yourself. The important thing is to start with very small promises. Many people make huge plans that are difficult to follow. They promise to exercise for 2 hours every day, read 5 books in 1 week, or completely change their life overnight. After a few days, they become tired, stop following their plan, and feel disappointed. This is why small promises are much more powerful. They are simple, realistic, and easier to keep. For example, you can tell yourself, today I will walk for just 10 minutes. 10 minutes may not sound like much, but if you actually do it, you have already succeeded. Tomorrow you can make the same promise again. Or you can say, today I will read just 1 page of a good book. 1 page is enough to create the habit of reading. Another simple promise could be, I will practice English for 15 minutes today. You do not need to study for hours. What matters most is showing up and doing what you promised yourself you would do. These small actions may seem unimportant, but together they create something much bigger. Every time you keep a promise, your mind collects evidence that you are someone who follows through. Instead of thinking, I never finish anything, you begin to think, I kept my promise today. Then you do it again tomorrow, and the next day. And slowly, your belief in yourself becomes stronger. This is how confidence grows, not from wishful thinking, but from repeated action. Many people spend too much time waiting for motivation. They say, I'll start when I feel motivated, or I'll do it when I have more energy. The problem is that motivation comes and goes. Some days you feel excited, and other days you do not feel like doing anything. If you depend only on motivation, your progress will always stop and start. But small promises do not depend on motivation. They depend on commitment. Even on difficult days, you can still walk for 10 minutes, read one page, or practice English for 15 minutes. These small actions keep you moving forward, even when you do not feel your best. As time passes, you will notice something wonderful. You will stop seeing yourself as someone who gives up easily. Instead, you will become someone who keeps going, one step at a time. Your confidence will not come from hoping you can succeed. It will come from seeing proof that you already can. Every completed promise becomes evidence that you are capable, responsible, and stronger than you once believed. So, if you want to build lasting confidence, do not wait for the perfect mood or the perfect moment. Start with one small promise today and keep it. Tomorrow, keep another one. Then do it again the next day. Remember this simple truth. Confidence does not grow because you feel motivated. Confidence grows because day after day, you prove to yourself that your actions match your words. And every time you do that, you build a stronger relationship with the most important person in your life, you. Spend time alone without feeling lonely. Many people are afraid of being alone because they think being alone always means being lonely. But these two things are not the same. Loneliness is the painful feeling of being disconnected from others, while healthy solitude is the peaceful choice to spend time with yourself. In today's busy world, we are almost always surrounded by people, messages, social media, and constant noise. We spend so much time listening to everyone else that we sometimes forget to listen to ourselves. That is why learning to enjoy your own company is an important part of falling in love with yourself again. Spending time alone gives you the chance to understand yourself better. It allows you to ask simple but meaningful questions. What makes me happy? What kind of life do I want to live? What are my dreams? What values are most important to me? These questions are difficult to answer when your mind is always busy with other people's opinions. Quiet moments give you the space to hear your own thoughts and understand the person you truly are. Healthy solitude also helps you feel calm and peaceful. Life can be stressful, and your mind needs time to rest. Just as your body becomes tired after working all day, your mind also becomes tired from constant activity. Spending a little time alone allows you to recharge your energy. After a peaceful break, you often return to your work, your family, and your responsibilities with a clearer mind and a happier heart. There are many simple ways to enjoy your time alone. You can write your thoughts in a journal and express your feelings honestly. You can read a good book that teaches you something new or inspires you. You can take a quiet walk and enjoy nature around you. You can sit peacefully and think about your goals or the lessons you have learned from life. You can spend time learning a new skill, practicing your English, praying according to your faith, meditating if that matches your beliefs, or simply listening to calm and relaxing music. None of these activities are about escaping life. They are about reconnecting with yourself. Another important part of self-love is protecting your peace. Many people feel emotionally exhausted because they give their time and energy to everything and everyone. They try to answer every criticism, solve every problem, and win every argument. But the truth is that not every argument deserves your energy, and not every opinion deserves your attention. Some people will misunderstand you no matter what you do. Some people will criticize you even when you are trying your best. If you spend your life trying to satisfy everyone, you will lose your own peace. Learning to protect your peace means accepting that you cannot control what everyone thinks about you. You can only control your own actions and your own attitude. Sometimes the healthiest response is not to argue, but to remain calm and move forward. Protecting your peace does not mean that you stop caring about people. It simply means that you stop allowing unnecessary negativity to control your emotions. An important part of this is learning to say no when necessary. Many people say yes because they are afraid of disappointing others. They agree to things they do not have time for, take on more responsibilities than they can handle, and ignore their own needs. Over time, this leaves them feeling tired, stressed, and unhappy. Saying no in a kind and respectful way is not selfish. It is a way of respecting your own time, your own energy, and your own well-being. When you protect your time, you make room for the things that truly matter. When you protect your mind, you allow yourself to think clearly instead of carrying unnecessary stress. When you protect your happiness, you remind yourself that your emotional health is valuable. Healthy boundaries are not walls that push people away. They are limits that help you build healthier relationships while also taking care of yourself. Always remember that spending peaceful time alone and protecting your inner peace are both acts of self-love. The better you understand yourself, the easier it becomes to live with confidence, make wise decisions, and build a life that brings you real happiness. Sometimes the greatest gift you can give yourself is a quiet mind, a peaceful heart, and the courage to choose what is truly good for you. Fill your mind with better thoughts. Our minds are like gardens. Whatever we plant and care for will slowly grow. If we fill our minds with fear, negativity, constant comparison, and unhealthy ideas, those thoughts will become stronger over time. But if we fill our minds with hope, wisdom, kindness, and encouragement, our thinking will slowly begin to change. This is why it is so important to pay attention to what you allow into your mind every day. Your thoughts are influenced by the things you watch, read, listen to, and the people you spend time with. If you spend hours reading negative news or constantly looking at other people's lives on social media, your mind can become tired and discouraged. You may begin to believe that the world is only full of problems, or that everyone else is happier than you. Instead, try to reduce the amount of negative information you consume. This does not mean ignoring reality. It simply means protecting your mental health by choosing healthier and more balanced input. At the same time, try to fill your mind with things that help you grow. Read books that teach valuable lessons or inspire you to become a better person. Listen to podcasts that encourage learning, personal growth, or positive thinking. Spend time learning new skills, whether it is English, cooking, writing, or anything that excites you. Whenever possible, surround yourself with people who encourage you, support your dreams, and speak with kindness. Positive conversations have the power to lift your spirit and remind you that life is full of hope. Always remember this simple truth. Your mind grows from what you feed it. If you feed it with better thoughts, your life will slowly begin to change. Another important lesson is to stop chasing perfection and start celebrating progress. Many people believe they have to do everything perfectly before they can feel proud of themselves. They think they must never make mistakes, never fail, and never have a bad day. But perfection does not exist. No human being is perfect, and waiting to become perfect only leads to disappointment. What truly matters is not perfection, but growth. Instead of asking yourself, "Am I perfect?" ask, "Am I improving?" Maybe today you were a little kinder than yesterday. Maybe you started a new habit. Maybe you made one brave decision, even though you were afraid. Maybe you learned a few new English words, or stayed calm in a difficult situation. These may seem like small victories, but they are signs of real progress. Every small step moves you closer to the person you want to become. A better life is not built by one huge success. It is built through many small improvements repeated day after day. To help yourself grow, it is also useful to create simple daily habits. You do not need a complicated routine. Small, consistent actions are often the most powerful. You can begin your morning by thinking of a few things you are grateful for. This simple habit reminds you to notice the good things already present in your life. You can also say a few positive and honest words to yourself, such as, "I am learning," "I am growing," or "I will do my best today." These gentle affirmations help you begin the day with hope instead of fear. Take care of your body by exercising, even if it is only a short walk or a few minutes of stretching. Choose healthy meals whenever you can, because your body and mind work better when they are properly cared for. Spend a little time reading, learning something new, or practicing your English every day. Even 15 minutes of practice can make a big difference over time. If you enjoy writing, keep a journal where you can record your thoughts, your feelings, and the lessons you learn each day. It is also helpful to do something kind for another person, even if it is something small. Helping others often reminds us of our own value and brings joy to both people. Finally, do not forget to rest. Take a few deep breaths when life feels stressful. Give yourself permission to slow down when you need to. At the end of the day, try to get enough sleep so your body and mind can recover. These simple habits may not seem exciting, but together they create a healthier, happier, and more peaceful life. Loving yourself is not about making one big change overnight. It is about making small, loving choices every single day until they become part of who you are. Before we finish today's episode, I would like to invite you to slow down for a few moments. You do not need to write anything unless you want to. Simply listen to these questions and answer them honestly in your heart. There are no right or wrong answers. This is not a test. It is a quiet conversation with yourself. Sometimes the most important answers in life come when we stop rushing and allow ourselves a moment of honest reflection. Take a slow, deep breath and ask yourself this first question. When was the last time I truly felt proud of myself? It does not have to be a big achievement. Maybe you helped someone, learned something new, or simply kept going during a difficult time. Think about that moment and allow yourself to appreciate it. Give yourself a few seconds to reflect. Now ask yourself another question. How do I speak to myself every day? Listen carefully to your inner voice. Is it full of kindness and encouragement, or is it full of criticism and doubt? If your words were spoken to someone you love, would they feel supported or hurt? Take a quiet moment to think about the answer. Here is another important question. What mistake do I still need to forgive? We all carry memories that still make us feel sad or guilty. But is it possible that you have been punishing yourself for long enough? What lesson have you already learned from that experience? Perhaps today is the day you can begin to let go of a small part of that pain. Take another moment to reflect. Now ask yourself, what is one small promise I can keep today? It does not need to be something difficult. Maybe you will take a short walk, drink more water, practice English for 15 minutes, read a few pages of a book, or simply speak kindly to yourself. Remember, small promises kept every day slowly build confidence and self-respect. Next, ask yourself something very simple but very meaningful. What truly makes me happy? Is it spending time with people you love? Learning something new? Helping others? Enjoying nature? Reading a good book? Think about the small moments that bring peace to your heart, because those moments often matter more than we realize. Finally, ask yourself one last question. How can I become my own best friend? Imagine treating yourself with the same patience, understanding, encouragement, and kindness that you would give to someone you deeply care about. What would change if you became the person who supported yourself instead of constantly criticizing yourself? Take one final quiet moment to think about your answer. As we come to the end of this episode, I want to leave you with a message that I hope stays with you long after this podcast is over. You have not lost your value. Your value has always been there. Perhaps life, disappointment, fear, comparison, or painful experiences made you forget it for a while. But forgetting your worth does not mean it has disappeared. It is still inside you, waiting to be remembered. Please remember that healing takes time. There is no need to rush this journey. Self-love does not appear in a single day. It grows slowly through every kind word you speak to yourself, every healthy choice you make, every mistake you forgive, and every small promise you keep. These simple actions may seem small today, but together they create a life filled with confidence, peace, and self-respect. One day, you will look back and realize that the greatest change in your life did not begin with more money, more success, or the approval of other people. It began the moment you decided to treat yourself with kindness. The relationship that changed your life was the relationship you built with yourself. So, before we say goodbye, I want to leave you with one final thought. The longest relationship you will ever have is the one with yourself. Be patient. Be kind. Be gentle. Every day is another chance to fall in love with the person you are becoming. Thank you so much for spending this time with me today. Take good care of yourself. Keep believing in your growth, and I will see you in the next episode.